previous class, what we have seen, we classified different types of anemia, and in previous class we have already discussed about iron deficiency anemia in detail and anemia due to chronic diseases. These two concepts we have already finished. And in today's class we'll try to learn about sideroblastic anemia, which is very very important and this is little bit rare condition. It is rare but very dangerous. Actually, we are discussing about microcytic anemias, the anemia where patient's RBC's mean corpuscular volume of the RBC or the size of RBC will be decreased. Okay, इसका size छोटा हो जाता, that is called microcytic anemia. In microcytic anemia we have iron deficiency anemia, anemia with chronic diseases, and sideroblastic anemia. So in today's class we'll discuss in detail about sideroblastic anemia. Now, why do we name it as sideroblastic anemia? इसका नाम sideroblastic anemia क्यों है? See, each and every concept is very important. Each and every term is also very important here. Everybody have to listen very carefully, and you can make note also. See, sidero means it is iron. Okay, sidero means iron. Blastic. What is the meaning of blast? Blastic means immature cells बोलते हैं, immature, or simply we can say it as immature cells. See, we have pre-erythroblast. We have many from the bone marrow. From bone marrow we synthesize many cells, right? From the bone marrow we synthesize many cells, many pluripotent cells or stem cells. All these stem cells are at the end they are named as blast, pre-erythroblast, erythroblast करके. Blast means they are immature cells. Okay, sideroblastic anemia is nothing but, see, sidero means iron and blastic means immature, and anemia is just simply decreased hemoglobin or decreased RBCs, decreased hemoglobin or decreased RBC. So here in sideroblastic anemia, simply what we have to understand, the patient's RBC is immatured. Okay, the patient's RBC is immatured, and the RBC is containing inappropriate accumulation or excess accumulation of iron in the RBC के अंदर actually sideroblastic anemia में RBC कैसे रहते हैं? All the RBCs which are present in the patient are immature, and their hemoglobin or their iron content is abnormally accumulated in the immature RBC, and because of these immature RBCs, patient's oxygen carrying capacity will be decreased, and because of that condition we name it as anemia. And see, RBC is immatured, and the immatured RBC is containing inappropriate accumulation of iron. Due to that condition we name it as sideroblastic anemia. Definition सब लोग समझ गए, नेम के मीनिंग समझ गए सब लोग? Everybody understood the meaning of the term? Yes. अब see, now you see sideroblastic anemia. In sideroblastic anemia we have two types. Number one is heredity and number two is acquired. Heredity means sometimes sideroblastic anemia is caused due to genetic reason or due to genetic mutations. Sometimes in sideroblastic anemia patients will have this anemia due to heredity, due to the gene disorder, genes बोलते, genetic cause बोलते. If any patient is having sideroblastic anemia, their children or their offsprings will develop the same condition. Okay, so this heredity is usually rare. It is very rare in nature. And the second one is it is not only genetic but it is also caused due to acquired means after birth, due to some habits or due to some environmental changes or due to intake of drugs, patient will develop sideroblastic anemia. That is called acquired sideroblastic anemia. Sideroblastic anemia में two causes we have. One is genetic cause and second one is acquired cause. अब देखो, in genetic cause I will try to explain the pathophysiology in detail. Everybody should concentrate here. It is very interesting and very easy. See, in previous class what I told, our RBC requires hemoglobin, right? RBC होने के लिए अपने को क्या चाहिए? hemoglobin चाहिए. We need hemoglobin, and hemoglobin is the complex protein or complex molecule. Hemoglobin is the complex protein molecule. To synthesize hemoglobin we need two things. Number one is heme and number two is globin. Okay, these two things are required for the synthesis of hemoglobin. In last class I told. Now you see, पहले अब globin तो amino acid, it is made up of amino acid, so simply through protein synthesis globin is synthesized. but to synthesize heme we need number one protoporphin. In last class already I told protoporphin करके I told protoporphin 9 plus iron protoporphin 9 plus iron, the combination of protoporphin 9 molecule and iron, this combination will make heme. So heme will again go and bind to the globin, and by binding heme on the globin it will synthesize hemoglobin. So this hemoglobin is synthesized and it will usually this will be synthesized in the RBC only. So through that it will make a 100% functional RBC. अब देखो यहाँ पे you see if protoporphin 9 is not synthesized, heme is not synthesized. If patient is having iron deficiency, heme is not synthesized. If patient has protein deficiency, amino acid deficiency, hemoglobin is not synthesized. So to synthesize hemoglobin, what we require? We require protoporphin 9, we require iron, and we require globin. Now, actually in sideroblastic anemia, problem is with protoporphin 9. In sideroblastic anemia, the problem is with protoporphin 9. Now you see, सबसे पहले अपने को heme produce करने के लिए what we require protoporphin 9. So protoporphin 9 molecule is very very important. Now everybody should concentrate here. Now what we will do, we will try to synthesize protoporphin 9. Now we are synthesizing protoporphin 9, right? This is protoporphin 9. Actually protoporphin 9 is synthesized in the mitochondria of bone marrow. Just imagine this is bone marrow के अंदर in bone marrow cells we have mitochondria, okay? Or simply you can say in bone marrow of RBC. bone marrow के अंदर RBC synthesis होता ना, in bone marrow RBC initially in the mitochondria of RBC of bone marrow, what happens? First in the mitochondria, glycine plus succinyl CoA, these both will be combined along with a very very important enzyme. We call it as ALAS. याद रख लो, ALAS, ALAS, ALAS. This enzyme is very very important. The full form of this ALAS is 5-amino. A means amino, 5-amino. सब लोग ध्यान से सुनो, 5-amino lavulonic acid synthase. The full form of this ALAS enzyme is 5-amino lavulonic acid synthase. समझ गए सब लोग? So this enzyme, what it does, ALAS is the very important enzyme. This ALAS converts glycine plus succinyl CoA into amino lavulonate or amino lavulonic acid, and this amino lavulonic acid will again go out in the cytoplasm of the RBC. It will undergo different processes, different chemical reactions, 5 to 6 so many tongue twisting reactions. I will not pronounce all these because we are not biochemists, okay? These many reactions it will occur, and finally it will form uroporphyrinogen 3. This uroporphyrinogen 3 is again entering into the mitochondria and it is converting itself into protoporphin 9. So actually in genetic disorder conditions, okay, in genetic disease, what patient will have is patient's ALAS enzyme concentration will be decreased, or patient with inappropriate or non-functional ALAS enzyme is seen. Genetic disorder patients में क्या होगा? The activity of this enzyme is deteriorated. The activity of this enzyme is reduced, and through that it will not synthesize protoporphin 9. Genetic disease में क्या होगा? ALAS enzyme activity कम हो जाएगी, and through that protoporphin, because protoporphin 9 is very important, no, for synthesis of heme. Protoporphin 9 is very very important precursor which will absorb or which will associate with iron and it will form heme. Heme form होने के लिए protoporphin 9 चाहिए अपने को. ये protoporphin 9 form होने के लिए this total reaction is required. In this reaction is late remitting reaction, and this enzyme is very important for this reaction, to initiate this reaction. amino lavulonic acid form होने के लिए ALAS enzyme की जरूरत है. थोड़े genetic patients में क्या होगा? ये enzyme synthesize नहीं होगा. This enzyme deficiency is seen in some patients, and this enzyme inefficacy is seen in some patients. Enzyme activity is decreased in some patients. Because of that reasons, what will happen? Now you see, if anybody is having that genetic disorder, protoporphin 9 is not synthesized, and the iron which is available in RBC. अब iron क्या करेगा? Iron protoporphin 9 को ढूंढते रहेगा ना. It will be searching for protoporphin 9 to form heme. So what iron does? The iron which is present in RBC will try to accumulate in mitochondria. Mitochondria के अंदर accumulate हो जाता more iron molecules. Why? All these iron atoms, all what they'll do, they'll try to accumulate in the mitochondria because there is no protoporphin to show its action, to show its reaction. That's why abnormal accumulation of iron is seen in mitochondria. You understood this point, everybody? Iron is not binding with protoporphin 9 to form heme. Actual function of iron is to bind to protoporphin 9 and to form heme. But in the absence of protoporphin 9, what happens? The iron will start accumulating in the mitochondria. Simple. So through that, what happens? Through that, what happens? Heme is not synthesized. Heme is not synthesized, and through that, the heme will not go and bind with the globulin, and it will not form hemoglobin. So RBC is synthesized actually. RBC is synthesized, but this RBC is not having proper hemoglobin in its cytoplasm, and it is having mitochondria with accumulated, inappropriate or abnormal accumulated mitochondria with iron. आरबीसी इज फंक्शनल, एक्चुअली आरबीसी बराबर ही रहता, बट आरबीसी के अंदर प्रोटोपोर्फिन नहीं है and heme is not there and hemoglobin is also not synthesized. So this type of abnormal RBCs, what they'll do, the immature RBCs will try to degrade in the bone marrow itself. Bone marrow के अंदर ही degrade होते रहते, and some of these immature, अब hemoglobin form नहीं हुआ तो it is considered as immature RBC. So these immature RBCs, some immature RBCs will try to escape into the blood circulation. Some immature RBCs will try to escape into the circulation, and in circulation, if we see, we have to see the normal RBCs. But in these patients, normal RBCs are not seen; they are abnormal RBCs due to genetic condition where patients ALAS enzyme is not active. Clear everybody this point? यहाँ पे किसी को doubt है? Anyways, अब वो you will get clarity after some time. See, so this is, I told there are two types of sideroblastic anemia. Number one is hereditary, which is very rare, which is caused due to genetics. Genetics में यहाँ पे what is the main cause? Patient is having inactive or abnormal ALAS enzyme. Patient is having abnormal ALAS enzyme or deficiency of this enzyme or inactivity of this enzyme. जो भी है, whatever the reason is, patient's ALAS enzyme is not active. ALAS का मीनिंग क्या है? 5-amino lavulonic acid synthase. 5-amino lavulonic acid synthase. Clear? Now next second cause is we have acquired forms. Acquired forms means patient usually after birth, patient's RBCs will be normal, but after some time or after few days, due to exposure of drugs or due to exposure of some other materials, environmental exposures, patient will develop sideroblastic anemia. That is called acquired sideroblastic anemia. यहाँ पे बहुत मजा आएगा, देखो. Acquired sideroblastic anemia is usually caused due to drug abuse. Acquired sideroblastic anemia is caused due to drug abuse. In that, most important cause is ethanol. Ethanol abuse will cause sideroblastic anemia. And second very important drug which will cause sideroblastic anemia is isoniazid. And third one is chloramphenicol. Actually this chloramphenicol we don't use systematically, systemic use के लिए use नहीं करते, but still if anybody uses chloramphenicol, even this also will cause sideroblastic anemia. Copper deficiency condition, there is one very important condition. Copper deficiency में भी patient को sideroblastic anemia आ जाता. And some other drugs like pyrazinamide, cycloserine and lead poisoning also. So these are different conditions which will cause sideroblastic anemia. In this I will explain each and every cause. हर एक drug का cause I will tell you the mechanism. Now you see, everybody should concentrate. In last year, in fourth year, all PB second year students and fifth year students, you might have already studied about ethanol poisoning. I only taught, I remember. See, if any patient takes ethanol, what ethanol will do? Ethanol enters into the liver, and in the liver, ethanol will be detoxified into acetaldehyde. First reaction, ethanol क्या होगा? Ethanol will be converted into acetaldehyde by alcohol dehydrogenase enzyme. Yes, ethanol क्या convert होगा? Ethanol will be converted into acetaldehyde by alcohol dehydrogenase enzyme. Clear? Now, acetaldehyde will again convert into acetic acid, which is a non-toxic form, by aldehyde dehydrogenase. And this acetic acid will go into Krebs cycle, and it will here actually it forms acetic acid. After acetic acid it will form acetyl-CoA. Anyways, चलो देखो. So ethanol is converting into acetaldehyde converting into acetic acid, and finally into acetyl-CoA. This reaction we already know. See, when patient is taking ethanol, In ethanolic patients, in ethanol overdose patients, acetaldehyde is the intermediate metabolite, right? Acetaldehyde is the intermediate metabolite. When acetaldehyde concentration increases in the alcoholic patients, this acetaldehyde will go and it will deactivate or it will inactivate Alas enzyme. It will inactivate Alas enzyme. अब अलास एंजाइम इनएक्टिवेट हो गया तो क्या होगा बोलो? अलास एंजाइम इनएक्टिवेट हो गया तो क्या होगा बोलो? फटाफट बोलो. यस, प्रोटोपोर्फिन 9 नहीं बनेगा, सिंपल. एंड थ्रू दैट it will cause sideroblastic anemia, simple. So if anybody is chronic alcoholic, in that patients we can suspect anemia, but specially we can suspect sideroblastic anemia. उसका mechanism क्या होगा? Due to elevated acetaldehyde will go and inactivate 5-amino lavinonic acid synthase enzyme, and through that it will cause sideroblastic anemia. This is one simple mechanism for alcohol poisoning. Number 2, isoniazid. We all know isoniazid is anti-tubercular drug, right? Isoniazid is anti-tubercular drug. Do you know all this about isoniazid? सब लोग पता है. अब देखो, सब लोग यहाँ पे ध्यान से सुनना. आइसोनियाजिड व्हाट इट डज, यू नो. आइसोनियाजिड सेकंड ईयर पीबी वाले को ऑलरेडी पता होगा ये पॉइंट. आइसोनियाजिड इज ए स्ट्रॉन्ग हेपेटिक एंजाइम inhibitor. Yes or no? It is a strong hepatic enzyme inhibitor. Did we see this while explaining about pharmacokinetic drug interactions? I explained drug interactions during metabolism. Isoniazid is a strong enzyme inhibitor. Isoniazid is a strong cytochrome P450 enzyme inhibitor. Yes. अब देखो सब लोग ध्यान से सुनो. Due to this enzyme inhibition property, what it does, we have ये isoniazid से पहले I will try to explain you about one very very important agent which is called pyridoxine. How many of you know about pyridoxine? Pyridoxine कोई सुने? Pyridoxine, वेरी गुड. इट इज विटामिन B6. पायरिडॉक्सिन इज विटामिन B6. इसके बारे में डिटेल में समझाता हूँ आपको. अब देखो, पायरिडॉक्सिन बोलते हैं, पायरिडॉक्सिन इज विटामिन B6. दिस पायरिडॉक्सिन इज इनएक्टिव. एक्चुअली पायरिडॉक्सिन इज इनएक्टिव. दिस पायरिडॉक्सिन शुड बी एक्टिवेटेड बाय हेपेटिक एंजाइम्स. अपने बॉडी के अंदर वी हैव हेपेटिक एंजाइम्स. पर्टिकुलरली पायरिडॉक्सिन इज कन्वर्टेड इनटू pyridoxal 5-phosphate by a very important enzyme which is called pyridoxine phosphokinase. Pyridoxine क्या था? Pyridoxine was inactive, or it is simply considered as prodrug. Pyridoxine is a prodrug. This pyridoxine will not show any action in the body. To show its action, this pyridoxine should be converted into pyridoxal 5-phosphate, and this conversion is done by pyridoxine phosphokinase. Pyridoxine phosphokinase enzyme is inhibited when patient takes isoniazid. Pyridoxine phosphokinase enzyme is inhibited when patient takes isoniazid. So in that cases what will happen? Pyridoxine will not be converted into pyridoxal. Now you see, in the absence of pyridoxal 5-phosphate, what will happen? Now one more important point, just now I forgot to tell you. See, this pyridoxal 5-phosphate is very very important in activating Alas enzyme. Alas enzyme activate करने के लिए we have some cofactors. We need some cofactors. उसमें cofactor कौन है? Pyridoxal 5-phosphate है. This pyridoxal 5-phosphate activates Alas enzyme by showing like a cofactor, okay, by giving cofactor activity, and through that it will help in production of protoporphin 9 और हिम सिंथेसिस में फर्दर ये यूज होगा. अब देखो, अगर कोई पेशेंट में if anybody is taking isoniazid, what will happen? If anybody is taking isoniazid, will they have sideroblastic anemia? isoniazid पेशेंट में sideroblastic anemia होगा नहीं होगा? Yes. कैसा होगा? सुनो, I think you all understood this mechanism. Isoniazid is a strong hepatic enzyme inhibitor. In that it will inhibit pyridoxine phosphokinase. This enzyme is important in activating pyridoxine to pyridoxal 5-phosphate. This pyridoxal 5-phosphate is important cofactor for activating अलास, अमाइनो लाइलोनिक सिंथेस एंजाइम। ओके, अब देखो, अब आइसोनियाजिड दिया तो ये सिंपल पेशेंट को साइटोप्लास्टिक एनीमिया आने के चांसेस सबसे ज़्यादा है। सो आइसोनियाजिड का मेकानिज्म इज दिस। सी इन आइसोनियाजिड वी हैव in actually in populations we have two types. They are considered as slow oscillators and fast oscillators अपने बॉडी के अंदर isoniazid is metabolized by simple acetylation reaction in the liver. Okay, so this acetylation reaction होने के लिए in populations we have two types of different populations due to what we can say, due to simply there is a term called polymorphism, genetic polymorphism. So in genetic polymorphism, some populations are considered as slow oscillators because their enzymes are very limited. Isoniazid metabolize करने के लिए वो in that patients oscillating enzymes are less, so they are considered as slow oscillators. And there are some populations who are considered as fast oscillators because their oscillating enzymes are very high. See, if isoniazid is given in slow oscillators, what will happen? The sideroblastic anemia risk is high or low? The sideroblastic anemia risk ज़्यादा रहता कम रहता? In slow ज़्यादा रहेगा, simple. So while giving isoniazid, we have to check whether the patient is slow oscillator or fast oscillator. अगर slow oscillator है तो we have to give limited doses or low doses of isoniazid, and along with that we have to give high doses of pyridoxine, okay, or pyridoxal 5-phosphate directly. If patient is fast oscillators, we can increase the patient's isoniazid dose for particularly in treating tuberculosis. Anyways, about this isoniazid, about tuberculosis and all, we will discuss later. You understood this point now, everybody? Isoniazid क्या होगा? Yes, Vicky. See, I just told slow oscillators are the patients. They are group of patients. In that patients, isoniazid is metabolized by simple acetylation reaction. Acetylation reaction से isoniazid metabolize हो जाएगा. वो acetylation में enzymes रहेंगे थोड़े, acetylating enzymes. If patient is having very low acetylating enzymes, they are considered as slow oscillators. उसके body में acetylation reaction slow होगा, इसलिए isoniazid slow metabolize होगा. And there are some fast oscillators in their body. Isoniazid metabolism fast हो जाएगा because acetylating enzymes are very high or enzymes are hyperactive. Simple. Clear? Slow oscillators and fast oscillators already I explained about drug metabolism interactions. Anyways, चलो इसके बारे में अपन बाद में भी डिस्कस कर सकते हैं. You understood this second? One is alcohol. We discussed about alcohol mechanism, and second one is isoniazid mechanism. And third one, see, third drug which will cause sideroblastic anemia is chloramphenicol. See, chloramphenicol simply what it does, क्लोराम्फेनिकॉल का एग्जैक्ट मैकेनिज्म अभी तक पता नहीं है, बट अगर कोई पेशेंट क्लोराम्फेनिकॉल ले रहा है तो क्या होगा? क्लोराम्फेनिकॉल विल इनहिबिट सम mitochondrial enzymes, and what it does, it will decrease the protein synthesis. Protein synthesis कम कर देगा. Through that it will decrease the globin, and through that it will decrease the formation of simply we can say hemoglobin. Simply hemoglobin कम कर देगा. So chloramphenicol is also causing cytoplastic anemia. इसका exact mechanism नहीं है, but simply we can say that it is inhibiting protein synthesis. And एक सबसे बढ़िया एक adverse effect we have with chloramphenicol. You know, chloramphenicol causes Gray baby syndrome. That is different. Okay, Gray baby syndrome तो अपने को पता है. It will cause bone marrow suppression. You know this point? Bone marrow suppression. बोन मैरो के अंदर बोन मैरो को सप्रेस कर देगा और उससे हीमोग्लोबिन जो फॉर्म हो रहा दैट आल्सो विल बी डिक्रीज एंड इट विल कॉज अनीमिया. It will not only cause anemia, it will cause decreased level of thrombocytopenia. It will cause decreased levels of white blood cells. It will also cause decreased levels of RBC. That is called decreased amount of all types of cells is called pancytopenia. So chloramphenicol is causing bone marrow suppression and it is causing pancytopenia. Simple. उससे भी डायरेक्टली इनडायरेक्टली जो भी रिएक्शंस अंदर हो रहे हैं, थ्रू दैट आल्सो वी कैन एस्टिमेट, बट एग्जैक्ट मैकेनिज्म इसका नहीं है अभी तक. Okay, so chloramphenicol is also causing sideroblastic anemia. Next, this copper deficiency is very, very important. You know, there are some drugs which will decrease copper in our body. Can anyone tell me one drug which will decrease copper in our body? Anybody from the class? Copper decrease करने का drug, can anyone tell me? Okay, so okay, चलो सुनो, सब लोग ध्यान से सुनो. See, first of all, copper is very important in many chemical reactions. टू स्टिमुलेट द केमिकल रिएक्शन सिंपली. अगर किसी भी पेशेंट में कॉपर डिफिशियंसी है तो दैट विल कॉज sideroblastic anemia. Actually, copper deficiency will cause protoporphyrin 9 synthesis, and through that it will decrease the heme synthesis, and through that it will cause sideroblastic anemia. उसका मैकेनिज्म भी बराबर पता नहीं है, बट कॉपर डिफिशियंसी विल कॉज साइटोप्लास्टिक एनीमिया. दिस पॉइंट यू हैव टू रिमेंबर. अब देखो कॉपर डिफिशियंसी कौन से कंडीशन में होगा. कॉपर डिफिशियंसी कौन से कंडीशन में होगा. हैव यू हर्ड अबाउट ए डिसीज कंडीशन विच इज कॉल्ड विल्सन्स डिसीज. सुने आप लोग. हैव यू हर्ड अबाउट विल्सन्स डिसीज. कौन कौन विल्सन्स डिसीज के बारे में सुने. विल्सन्स डिसीज के बारे में कौन कौन सुने. एनीबडी हैव यू हर्ड अबाउट विल्सन्स डिसीज. यस सर नो, हाँ या ना, फटाफट बोलो. विल्सन्स डिसीज में क्या होगा. विल्सन्स डिसीज में क्या होगा, सुनो सब लोग ध्यान से सुनो. सी इन विल्सन, एक्चुअली विल्सन्स डिसीज इज genetic disease, and this genetic disease is mainly characterized by abnormal accumulation of copper in the body. यहाँ पे डिफिशियंसी करके लिखा है. सर क्या आप कॉपर, एलिवेटेड कॉपर के बारे में बता रहे. विल्सन्स डिसीज इज नथिंग बट इट इज a genetic disorder. It is a genetic disorder where patient will have abnormal accumulation of copper in the body, abnormal excess accumulation of copper in the body, and through that what will happen, the excess copper will go and it will accumulate in heart tissue, it will accumulate in brain, it will accumulate in eyes. Okay, it will accumulate in eyes and also in kidneys. So through that what it causes brain damage, it causes heart damage, brain damage, eye damage, and also it causes kidney injury. That condition is called Wilson's disease. It is a genetic disorder where patient will have excess abnormal accumulation of copper in the body, or patient will have abnormal excess absorption of copper from GI tract. GI tract से copper automatically इतना absorb होगा कि patient will have lot of copper in the body, and through that copper what it does, it will go and accumulate in some tissues, and it will cause damage in the tissues. Clear? That is Wilson's disease. देखो Wilson's disease का this is the very very important clinical presentation which is called Kayser-Fisher rings. KF rings बोलते हैं. If you examine the patient's eye, in the iris, at the corner of the iris, you will find one ring. Copper ring दिख रहा है आपको. You can zoom and you can see copper ring, copper colored, brown colored ring is there in the peripheral area of the iris में copper ring दिख रहा है आपको. Can you all see the copper ring? Yes or no? दिस इज दी, अगर अपन हॉस्पिटल में किसी पेशेंट को अगर ये विल्सन्स डिसीज है तो वी विल एग्जामिन. Romil, if anybody has Wilson's disease in pediatric department, you can call us. Okay, we will try to examine the patient's eyes. So here you see at the peripheral areas of iris copper ring form होता है यहाँ पे. Easily we can identify. So this is the main clinical presentation with Wilson's disease, and along with this serum copper बढ़ जाएगा. Copper content will be excess in the kidneys, in the eyes, in the brain, heart valves के अंदर भी copper, heart tissue के अंदर भी copper accumulate हो जाएगा. Okay, and that is multi tissue degrading disease, very very dangerous disease. तो अब देखो किसी भी पेशेंट में, विल्सन्स डिसीज पेशेंट्स में, व्हाट इज द ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ चॉइसेस. वी हैव सम ड्रग्स कॉल्ड पेनिसिलामाइन. Actually this penicillamine is very 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 important drug. Penicillamine is not only used in Wilson's disease, it is also used in iron poisoning. In last class I told iron poisoning में penicillamine देते करके I already explained in iron poisoning condition. Okay, I think you already you remember. So iron poisoning में, copper poisoning में, and sometimes in lead poisoning also. In lead poisoning also we use penicillamine. Penicillamine, what it does, it will try to absorb the iron, copper and lead in the GI tract, and it will try to excrete. So penicillamine is one drug. Along with penicillamine there is another drug called trientine. Trientine is one drug. It is also having same action like penicillamine. So this also will try to decrease the copper in the body. Actually Wilson's disease में penicillamine, trientine, and this is new drug, this is research drug. टेट्राथेओमोलिब्डेट करके एक ड्रग है. सी दिस इज पेनिसिलामाइन. इट इज अवेलेबल एज कैप्सूल्स 200-250 mg, 500 mg मिलेगा. ओके, व्हाट दिस पेनिसिलामाइन डज, इट विल बाइंड द आयरन एंड इट विल ट्राई टू एक्सक्रीट आयरन, एंड दिस इज ट्राइंटिन. इवन दिस इज आल्सो सेम लाइक पेनिसिलामाइन. ओके, एंड या, एंड द थर्ड वन इज टेट्राथेओमोलिब्डेट. उसका एक्चुअली रिसर्च ड्रग है वो. आई एम नॉट श्योर वेदर इट इज FDA अप्रूव्ड और नॉट, बट एज ऑफ नाउ penicillamine and trientine are the drugs which are used for Wilson's disease. अब देखो विल्सन्स डिसीज के अंदर अगर पेंसिलामाइन और ट्राइटिन विदाउट विल्सन्स और विथ विल्सन्स, इफ दिस ड्रग ओवर डोजेस इज गिवन, penicillamine and trientine is given, what happens, these two drugs, their main adverse effect will be deficiency of copper, yes or no? penicillamine का ट्राइंटिन का adverse effect copper deficiency होगा या नहीं? तो अगर किसी भी पेशेंट में पेंसिलामाइन दिए तो कॉपर डेफिशिएंसी हो जाएगा. अगर कॉपर डेफिशिएंसी होगा तो इट विल कॉज, इट जस्ट नाउ आई एक्सप्लेन, इट विल कॉज sideroblastic anemia. Simple mechanism. I think you understood this point also. So there are other drugs. Pyrazinamide is another antitubercular drug which is having same mechanism like isoniazid, but along with isoniazid, if pyrazinamide is given, the action of isoniazid will be potentiated and it will lead sideroblastic anemia. Alone दिए तो उतना action नहीं दिखता, but pyrazinamide and isoniazid if they are given together, it will have more risk of sideroblastic anemia. And cycloserine is another drug which will also cause sideroblastic anemia. इसका mechanism I am not sure. Okay, and lead poisoning is another condition which will try to denature some enzymes in the liver as well as in bone marrow के अंदर some enzymes are denatured, in that alas enzyme is very important. lead poisoning के condition में क्या होगा, alas poisoning हो जाएगा पेशेंट को. lead poisoning के अंदर patient will have alas enzyme denature. Okay, alas enzyme will be inactivated and through that it will cause sideroblastic anemia. Clear everybody these mechanisms? Are you all following me? ओके, अब देखो इन लास्ट क्लास आई एक्सप्लेन्ड यू अबाउट आयरन डेफिशिएंसी एनीमिया एंड क्रॉनिक इंफ्लेमेटरी डिसीज एनीमिया. आयरन डेफिशिएंसी एनीमिया में मेन क्लिनिकल प्रेजेंटेशन क्या है, पेशेंट्स आरबीसी इज माइक्रोसाइटिक एंड पेशेंट्स iron content, or simply we can say iron content is very low. Through that we can say that patient is having iron deficiency anemia. And in chronic disease condition, what is the main clinical presentation? Anybody in the class, can anybody tell me? Chronic disease condition में what is the main clinical presentation? Very good. And now we will try to see about lab reports in sideroblastic anemia. साइड्रोब्लास्टिक एनीमिया कैसा डिफरेंशिएट करोगे, साइड्रोब्लास्टिक एनीमिया को कैसा डिफरेंशिएट करोगे? एनीबॉडी फ्रॉम द क्लास? सब लोग ध्यान से सुनो. साइड्रोब्लास्टिक एनीमिया को डिफरेंशिएट करने का तरीका एक ही है एंड वो है पेरिफेरल स्मीयर. इन पेरिफेरल स्मीयर इन साइड्रोब्लास्टिक एनीमिया आई टोल्ड एबनॉर्मल accumulation of iron in the mitochondria. This abnormal accumulation of iron in the mitochondria will make the RBC, it will make the RBC to show as ring form, which is called ring sideroblast. इसको क्या बोलते? ring sideroblast. अगर किसी भी एनीमिक पेशेंट के अंदर RBC में ऐसे फीचर्स दिखे, if this type of features are shown, this type of feature is called ring sideroblast. If this is shown, this indicates that patient is having sideroblastic anemia. Sideroblast is what? Patient's iron is abnormally accumulated and patient's RBCs are not matured and they are particularly seen in the form of ring, which is called ring sideroblast. अगर किसी भी पेशेंट में ring sideroblast है तो it tells us that patient is having sideroblastic anemia. Clear everybody? This is the very sensitive and diagnostic criteria for for sideroblastic anemia. ओके, अब देखो इसके साथ पेशेंट का आरबीसी माइक्रोसाइटिक रहेगा. पेशेंट का आरबीसी विल बी माइक्रोसाइटिक. हुज एमसीवी कितना रहता बोलो? हु विल टेल एमसीवी कितना रहता बोलो? एमसीवी कितना रहता? लेस देन 90 फेंटोलीटर्स. इन फर्स्ट क्लास आई टोल्ड, अगर किसी भी पेशेंट में मीन कॉर्पस्कुलर वॉल्यूम less than 90 femtoliters है, then it is called microcytic anemia. If it is greater than 90 femtoliters, we will consider it as megaloblastic anemia. And normal range will be between 85 to 90 or 80 to 90 तक ले सकते हैं अपन. Or some approximately it will be this only. Okay, normal MCV. Okay, अगर 90 से नीचे है तो we will consider it as micro. Greater than 90 we will consider it as greater than 90 or 95. It depends from lab to lab. Anyways, अब देखो तो अब ये साइड्रोब्लास्टिक एनीमिया में वन इज मेनली वी हैव सीन रिंग साइड्रोब्लास्ट. दैट इज मेन क्लिनिकल प्रेजेंटेशन, रिंग साइड्रोब्लास्ट. Number two, patient's MCV is less than 90 femtoliters, which is microcytic. Okay. And number three, patient will have splenomegaly. Why splenomegaly? Can anyone tell me? Can anyone from the class tell me why patient? वेरी गुड. रैपिड डिस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ आर, बिकॉज वहाँ पे बराबर मेच्योर नहीं हो रहा है, तो व्हाट हैपेंस, मोर ब्रेकडाउन कैन बी सीन. ओके. एंड along with this abnormal accumulation और abnormal synthesis, उसके वजह से भी स्प्लिनोमेगाली हो सकता है. एंड नंबर 4, पेशेंट विल हैव हाइपोक्रोमिक आरबीसीज. हाइपोक्रोमिक मीन्स एचबी प्रोड्यूस नहीं हो रहा है, तो पेशेंट में कलर कितना होगा, कलर कम हो जाएगा. the color intensity of RBC will be decreased, that is called hypochromic. अगर color intensity बढ़ गया तो उसको क्या बोलते हैं, hyperchromic बोलते हैं. Okay, patient will have hypochromic color intensity will be hypochromic. And one more important point, the serum iron. अब बोलो serum iron कैसा रहेगा, what will be the concentration of serum iron? serum iron concentration क्या होगा here? serum iron क्या होगा बोलो. yes, serum iron may be normal, सीरम आयरन में भी नॉर्मल और सीरम आयरन में भी लो. यूजुअली लो रहता, क्यों यूजुअली लो रहता, क्यों? एग्जैक्टली सिंपल. सेम सीरम आयरन and ferritin will be decreased, or it will be slightly normal, but probably it will be, mostly it will be reduced. Okay, serum iron and ferritin. So these are some lab parameters we will take in the patients. And सबसे important क्या है, ring sideroblast is very very important. Clear? So these are the mechanisms and lab parameters to identify that patient is having sideroblastic anemia. अब देखो, अब मजा आएगा आप लोगों को. ट्रीटमेंट क्या दोगे साइड्रोब्लास्टिक अनीमिया में? ट्रीटमेंट क्या देना है साइड्रोब्लास्टिक अनीमिया में? ट्रीटमेंट क्या देना है साइड्रोब्लास्टिक अनीमिया में? ट्रीटमेंट क्या देना है? कैन एनीवन टेल मी treatment for sideroblastic anemia? Yes, think and tell. Number 1, if patient is having acquired sideroblastic anemia, we have to treat the patient's underlying cause. number 1. इसके साथ we have to give large doses of pyridoxine. क्यों? Acquired condition में, in acquired condition mainly sideroblastic anemia is caused due to pyridoxine, right? Deficiency of pyridoxine. So pyridoxine, which is a B6 vitamin, should be given in higher doses to treat sideroblastic anemia. number 1. इसके साथ we can go with folic acid. And along with this we can also go with vitamin B12 भी दे सकते हैं. So here मेन ट्रीटमेंट फॉर साइड्रोब्लास्टिक अनीमिया इज टू गो विथ pyridoxine. सिंपल. अगर पेशेंट को अक्वायर्ड कंडीशन है, इफ पेशेंट इज हैविंग अक्वायर्ड कंडीशन, वी विल गो विथ अंडरलाइंग कॉज. ओके, यहाँ पे यू कैन सी द ट्रीटमेंट स्ट्रैटेजी. number 1, वी कैन गो विथ द लार्ज डोजेस ऑफ pyridoxine, दैट इज 100 to 200 mg डेली, मैक्सिमम 400 mg तक दे सकते हैं. एंड वन मोर पॉइंट यू हैव टू रिमेंबर, इफ एनीबडी इज टेकिंग isoniazid, we can go with 5 mg of pyridoxine every day, normal dose. pyridoxine 5 mg प्रोफिलैक्टिकली दे देना. सिंपल. पेशेंट में pyridoxine कम है ज़्यादा है वो सब नहीं, isoniazid ले रहा है तो go with pyridoxine prophylactic therapy. And if patient has sideroblastic anemia, we will go with the large doses of pyridoxine, 100 to 200 mg, maximum 400 mg. This is one strategy. number 2, we can go with thiamine, vitamin B1. thiamine is vitamin B1, right? Thiamine is B1 or B2? It is B1. And folic acid. Along with that, we'll go with folic acid. And number 3, see, if patient is given with pyridoxine से अगर पेशेंट को रिस्पॉन्स नहीं मिल रहा है, if patient is not finding action, if patient is not having action through pyridoxine, we will go with the active form, pyridoxal 5-phosphate. What is pyridoxal 5-phosphate? It is the active form of pyridoxine. pyridoxine दिए तो एक्टिवेट नहीं हो सकता ना थोड़ी कंडीशंस में. So in that cases what we have to go? We have to directly go with parental form of pyridoxal 5-phosphate if pyridoxine is not responding. Okay. And there is another drug actually, Heme-arginate करके एक ड्रग है. It is a research drug. इसकी एफिकेसी अब तक नहीं पता चला, but some researchers and some rare case reports are telling that Heme-arginate is useful and it is showing some efficacy in sideroblastic anemia. Okay. And if anybody is having severe condition, severe cytoplastic anemia hai, तो we'll go with bone marrow transplant. Now, what is bone marrow transplant? Anybody from the class? What is bone marrow transplant? Anybody from the class? स्टेम सेल को ट्रांसफर किया जाता है. हाउ? हाँ, सी एक्चुअली व्हाट विल बोन मैरो ट्रांसप्लांट इज नथिंग बट, दूसरे पेशेंट से ट्रांसप्लांट नहीं करते, दूसरे पेशेंट में भी करते बट सिंपल. हाँ, सी some bone marrows are collected from the healthy individual or from the patient, and those bone marrow those what we can say, the pluripotent cells and stem cells, all the cells from the bone marrow, these cells, what they will do, they are stored, and the patient's bone marrow is totally destroyed. Patient's bone marrow, or all the cells of the bone marrow, or all the pluripotent cells and stem cells of the bone marrow is totally destroyed by giving strong cytotoxic drugs. When we are sure that all the cells in bone marrow are destroyed, what we will do, we will go with the fresh, this bone marrow cells. Fresh bone marrow cells are injected or they are transfused into the body, and those fresh bone marrow cells or pluripotent cells, or what we can say, all the cells will start forming new cells. This process is called bone marrow transplant. Okay, पहले बोन मैरो पूरा डिग्रेड कर देंगे, उसके बाद न्यू सेल्स विल बी गिवन. वाई? बिकॉज द पेशेंट्स बोन मैरो सेल्स आर एबनॉर्मल. पेशेंट्स के बोन मैरो से जो भी सेल्स फॉर्म हो रहे हैं, दे आर ऑल अबनॉर्मल. अबनॉर्मल सेल्स पूरा खत्म कर दो, उसके बाद न्यू सेल्स दे दो, एंड फ्रॉम दैट वी विल ट्राई टू मेक न्यू सेल्स. दैट टेक्निक इज कॉल्ड बोन मैरो ट्रांसप्लांट. नाउ यू सी, I want to add some important points about pyridoxine. Pyridoxine is B6 vitamin करके you already told. Okay. If pyridoxine is prescribed to the patient, what important points will you suggest? If pyridoxine is suggested to the patient, being a clinical pharmacist, what important points or what counseling points you will give to the patient? जो patient pyridoxine ले रहा है, तो क्या points suggestion दोगे? Yes. See, first important thing, pyridoxine is given only to the patients who are required. Number one, who are required means those who are having risk of pyridoxine deficiency. Pyridoxine deficiency condition में we have to suggest this drug. Number one. Number two, tell me what are the pyridoxine deficiency conditions. Pyridoxine deficiency कहाँ कहाँ हो सकता है, and tell me the important sources of pyridoxine. pyridoxine के sources क्या है? Yes, फटाफट बोलो. pyridoxine के sources क्या क्या है? What are the sources of pyridoxine? Yes, anybody from the class? What are the sources of pyridoxine? Number one, green leafy vegetables. Green leafy vegetables. And number two, it is richly available in beef, pork, liver, and chicken. Chicken means chicken. Fowl bolte. Chicken, vitamin B6. These are the good sources. These are the good sources of vitamin B6. And see, it is available in green leafy vegetables. One important point we have to see, if we overcook the green leafy vegetables ज़्यादा overcook कर दिए तो क्या होगा? Pyridoxine will be destroyed. So the patients who are veg or the patients who are pure veg, they are having greater risk of developing pyridoxine deficiency. Number one reason. Number two, ध्यान से सुनो सब लोग ध्यान से सुनना. See, what are the uses of pyridoxine? pyridoxine के uses क्या है? pyridoxine is very important in metabolizing fats, proteins and carbohydrates. And along with this, pyridoxine is very very important in making nerve cells, in generating nerve tissue. This is very very important. If anybody has pyridoxine deficiency, patient will have nerve degenerative disorder, or simply we can say peripheral neuritis, or we can say peripheral nerve degenerative. Peripheral neuritis हो जाता patient को. Vicky Sharma, this is specially for you. Peripheral neuritis is the common condition which may be caused due to pyridoxine deficiency. अपन एक ही जगह पे बैठते बैठते अपने को क्या हो जाता, समटाइम numbness आ जाता. If we are sitting in single position or if we are standing in single position, sometimes what will happen, we will get tingling sensation. we will get numbness. These are all the symptoms of peripheral neuritis and neuropathy. Peripheral neuritis, neuropathy, and nerve degeneration. So in these cases we are at risk. So these cases they are having high probability of pyridoxine deficiency. तो यहाँ पे पेशेंट क्या करना, ज़्यादा अंडे खाना. इन एग्स आल्सो इट इज़ वेरी मच अवेलेबल. एग, चिकन, लिवर, पोर्क, बीफ एंड ग्रीन लीफ वेजिटेबल्स. ग्रीन लीफ वेजिटेबल्स ओवर कुक कर दिया तो फिर से पेशेंट में डेवलप pyridoxine deficiency. Now अब मेरे को विक्की शर्मा पूछेगा, सर आई एम नॉट हैविंग एनी नॉन वेज सोर्सेज, आई एम नॉट हैविंग, आई एम टेकिंग ग्रीन लीफ वेजिटेबल्स, दैट आल्सो आई एम कुकिंग इट वेरी हेवीली, ओवर कुक कर दे रहा हूँ और खा ले रहा हूँ, बट स्टिल आई एम नॉट हैविंग pyridoxine deficiency. अपन अगर pyridoxine लेवल अपने बॉडी में चेक करें, if you see the serum pyridoxine levels, it will be normal. Pyridoxine level will be normal only. Why pyridoxine level is normal in people who are pure veg as well as who are not taking proper pyridoxine? Anybody from the class? Can anybody? Small amount of pyridoxine is synthesized by our gastric microflora. अपने बॉडी के गैस्ट्रिक माइक्रोफ्लोरा विल सिंथेसाइज pyridoxine, and through because of this reason pyridoxine deficiency is not majorly seen. डेफिशिएंसी नहीं रहेगी बट कॉन्सेंट्रेशन कम हो सकता है. 100% डेफिशिएंसी नहीं होगा. 100% डेफिशिएंसी हो गया तो फिर पेरिफेरल न्यूराइटिस आ जाएगा. सो एंड वन मोर इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट टू रिमेंबर, द pyridoxine सोर्सेस फ्रॉम द डाइट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अब सर बोल रहे थे डाइट्स में ले लिए तो भी बैक्टीरिया सिंथेसाइज कर दे रहा. It is my bacteria is producing pyridoxine, so that I will not afraid of pyridoxine deficiency. Only 5 to 10%. Only 5 to 10% of pyridoxine which is required for our body is synthesized by bacteria, and remaining 80 to 95% of pyridoxine is required from oral route. This is very important. That's why taking green leafy vegetables or non-vegetarian sources is important to maintain good hygiene with nerves. Okay, this is important point. अब देखो ये सब पॉइंट्स वी कैन टेल टू द पेशेंट. ऑल दिस पॉइंट्स वी कैन एक्सप्लेन टू द पेशेंट. पेरिडॉक्सिन का इंपॉर्टेंस क्या है, वो क्यों ले रहे, वो क्यों लेना पड़ रहा. ओके, एंड यू हैव टू एक्सप्लेन अबाउट isoniazid if anybody is taking isoniazid or any other drug. Okay, so all these points you have to give. And if anybody is taking isoniazid every day, if anybody is taking isoniazid every day, 5 mg of pyridoxine tablets or capsule is given to the patient prophylactically. डेली भी ले सकते हैं अपन डेली ले सकते हैं. इट्स नॉट ए प्रॉब्लम. pyridoxine वी कैन टेक. इट इज वाटर soluble vitamin. It is water soluble vitamin and it is essential vitamin. It is essential vitamin. ये कंपलसरी जरूरत है अपने को. नॉन असेंशियल विटामिन्स और दोज विटामिन्स 100% दे आर सिंथेसाइज्ड इन द बॉडी, बट दिस इज एसेंशियल विटामिन. 100% अपने बॉडी में सिंथेसाइज नहीं होगा, बाहर से भी लेना पड़ेगा. दैट्स वाई 5 to 10% ओनली इट इज सिंथेसाइज्ड बाय बैक्टीरिया, एंड रिमेनिंग 95% इज टेकन थ्रू एक्सटर्नल सोर्सेस. क्लियर एवरीबडी? और इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट क्या मिस हो गए अपन, क्या और क्या था. साइटोप्लास्टिक एनीमिया में याद रख लो, लार्ज डोजेस ऑफ pyridoxine, folic acid, this we will give. Or if patient is having very low amount of iron in the serum, we can go with 1 or 2 doses of iron also, but we have to take care that it may aggravate the ring sideroblast. फिर वो भी splenomegaly और ring sideroblast ज़्यादा हो जाएगा. That is even dangerous condition. Clear? So these are important points about sideroblast. और कुछ बड़ा I think till here I think I have covered all the points about sideroblastic anemia, Wilson's disease, their relationship, and yes, ये mechanism समझ लेना आप. ये interactions, if anybody is taking all these drugs and reactions, you should correlate. Okay, so you understood this reaction also, no? Protoporphyrin pathophysiology. Okay, that's it about sideroblastic anemia.